Welcome everyone to another book club meeting with the amazing LisaMarie. I'm so excited to be here. I know you all are as well, because these calls has, made me learn, I don't know if this is correct in English, but helped me learn a lot more about this book than when I've studied it myself. So these calls are amazing. So when you show up, you get so much value from it. I'm so excited for today's call. We're going to go through chapter 12, I believe, efficient action, and I'm so excited about it. Make sure that you keep yourself muted. Make sure that you have pen and paper ready, because there's always something that we can take notes on. And with that being said, I'm going to pass it on to the amazing LisaMarie Cook. Thank you so much for doing this. And I'm excited.
I am too. Thank you, Nicholas. I appreciate that so much. I got a lot of pops out of this chapter, and taking efficient action. And then right before we're going to start, well, a couple hours ago, I went in again in the 30-day accountability, which Melody Riba, that's her group and her call, and she's amazing, and she is our mini Robert. That's how I feel about her. But I went back in again and listened to Robert's version, because it just, I don't know, it's like every time you do it again, you can't do it too many times. I don't think we can do it too many times. I mean, if I had the time to do it, I would read it, I would listen to it, I'd do Robert all in the same day and just repetitively keep doing that, because every time I get a little bit more, the pops just are unbelievable. So, and that kind of just solidifies things for me. So I don't think we can be overly persistent on really trying to get this nail home with us. And Robert continually says, you don't have to get every single principle, but oh my gosh, when you get one, it's such an amazing feeling. The hard part is being consistent and doing the same thing every single day. That is the hardest thing. And then we kind of, we fall back, we get a little bit laxed, and pretty quick, then we're not doing it in that certain way. You know what I mean? And then we're all of a sudden we're really off kilter. So I think it's really, I'm getting the idea of how important it is for us to be practicing these principles. So chapter 12 is efficient action, and it talks about our using our thoughts to do what we can from where we are at. So, and that we must do all that we can. We must do all that we can do where we are at, meaning in our present place. So we can only advance when we are larger than our present places. So basically, whether we are at home, whether we are at work, whether we are at play, we cannot improve, we can't advance, and we cannot grow if we are doing less than what we could be doing. Does that make sense? We need to do all activities to the best of our ability every single day, whether that is, getting home from work and spending some time with the kids, and, making sure your spouse is feeling loved, and all these gooey gishy things, whatever. We gotta make others feel good, and we have to do all tasks, and not that relationship things like that are tasks. It should be, involuntary, you know what I mean? But doing it to the best of your ability every single time. And who knows what the word Kaizen means? And this I've never heard of before listening to Robert. And Kaizen means, it's a continuous growth over and over every single day. You get just a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. And as Robert does say, when he's doing his course, gosh, I guess I forget how amazing I can't forget how amazing he is. But it just, every time I go in there and listen to him, it just solidifies it even more, And it's not that, I mean, we still have access to all of Robert's videos, but we also have Melody, and she has been learning from Robert forever. And who knows better than she does? So, Melody, I can't thank you enough for being here, when you can. And you just always add so much value. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. You are so appreciated. I just want to make sure I said that. So, okay, so getting back to it. If we concentrate on just getting 1% better every single day, imagine the possibilities after, just like 3 months or 6 months or a year. I have known Melody and Robert now about a year, and that time flew by. Could you imagine how much growth if I just would be persistent and consistent, consistent in the persistence? How can we do that? How can we do that? I think by holding that vision in our head while we are at work, while we are at play, while we are at leisure, get that image into our mind just as much as we possibly can. Just as so that if you find yourself in a foul mood or just off track or whatever, it's like you can pop that vision in your head just like that. Can somebody send Deborah Bronner the correct link, please? She's trying to get in. Thanks, Nicholas. Appreciate you so much. Appreciate you. Okay, so sorry guys, I should know better. Get off track a little bit like that. How we can do that, I believe, is by, and this is what I see in Robert and Melody consistently. This is what they have over us in my eyes. So I hope you guys are writing this down because I think this is excellent stuff. What them two have that we do not have is they do have the faith in their purpose that holds the truth for them. You know what I mean? Their faith in their purpose, that solidifies it for them. So if we cannot get to the point where we are, we have to believe. We have to believe it with all our faith, all our purpose, until it gets to the point where you can jump into that consistent vision. God, I hope I'm wording this right. That consistent vision, and you have to be persistent to get to that point. And we got to practice it every single day. Every single day, that repetitiveness becomes a habit. When it becomes a habit, it becomes second nature. And if we don't fill our cup, Robert and Melody, this is what I see them doing that we are not consistent with. And that is their morning rituals. That is the morning rituals. Yes, Melody could probably still do 100 times the amount of things that I can do, but that is the one thing that she is so consistent about, and I see that in Robert as well. And in my opinion, the next one that is going to be just like that is Nicholas. Why do I say that? Because that I see the consistency. I don't know what Nicholas does for his morning rituals, but I see the consistency in him daily. I see the consistent growth daily. I see him getting 1% better almost daily, and I think that is what most of us are lacking, I believe. And you'll have the chance to correct me if you think I'm wrong, and that's perfect. That's fine. That's just how I feel about it. So let's see. In the book, that part where the world is advanced by only people that fill their present places. Okay. And those who do not quite fill their places are dead weight to society, and others have to carry them along. And that is usually at a great expense to them. Sometimes that tough love, you got to just, worry about yourself and move on. If somebody isn't willing to go with you, against if there's resistance, they are not aligned with who they truly want to be. If they are fighting or resisting, same thing with us. We have to stop and think of what is holding us back. Now, this thing about, let me think for just a second. I want to focus on this Kaizen thing, or leaving things undone because of filling everything to the best of our ability every single day. Because if you have if you have a task that was left undone and it could have been done had you just went just a little bit extra, then that is just a huge delay in it could be a huge delay in some small task that you think is trivial and it means nothing. But in fact, who knows how it ties that whole piece together for you, for each of us. It could be anything. So if we are to leave things undone, then we are just causing delays in our success. But if we finish every single task in a successful manner, there is no possible way for us not to become rich. If it's taking a while, maybe we got to fine tune something. Maybe it's that little task that we're just forgetting. There's a lot to remember when going through this book. And like Robert said, when you get just one principle, they all kind of roll together. However, you don't have to get every single one. You don't have to, I noticed, I don't have every single principle, but I have noticed huge changes just in the way, I handle things. And that is just a life habit that I need to change. But I can't change that unless I actually realize what the heck I'm doing there. You know what I mean? If we cannot acknowledge our errors, and they are just simple little errors that we continually make. If we cannot acknowledge that we are doing that, then we can't change it. You know? I want to get back to that. Just this, I want to focus on this one part just a little bit. And it was when the world is advanced only by those, oh no, I already said that part. When Waddles talks about the animal world, okay, in that part, this is where I don't know, I had these visions and these pops, and so I'm ready to share that with you. But organisms have, evolution is caused by excess of life. So when an organism has more life than it can express through its current functions, that means through whatever he has to use, you know, his body, his shell, his, you know, his existence, I guess. If he cannot express the full capability of his life, then he is not reaching his excess of life. Once you get to that point, it's like it develops the organs of a higher plane. Does that make sense? Oh, I think I'm botching this. I hope not, but a new species is originated. So when I'm reading that part, this is what I think of, you know, the caterpillar and the butterfly. You know, the caterpillar had more potential. It was seeking more life. I don't know if that's a good, I think it's a good example. I do. Okay. So that it's seeking more life. So maybe somehow it knew, you know, it wanted to fly. I don't know. It, it already has filled its present place, but still it had more growth. It still had more life in him. Does that make sense? So, if it weren't for the organisms that more than fill their present places, then the world would never, we would never see new species like the caterpillar turning into the butterfly. I think that is just, I don't know. I think that's just the way I perceive it. You guys could perceive it completely different, and I'd love to hear about that. So, but by leaving something undone that could have been done, the consequences is just a delay in what the outcome is for us. So keep in mind that vision while we are at work. Don't let it interfere with your work, but always hold that there. And every time we can fall back on that vision and do the best that we can do, no matter what position we are in. We obviously have to grow before we can get to that next plane, that next level, you know, the better version of us. Okay. All right. Any questions, comments, opinions, anything? Hi, Deborah.
Hi, nice to finally be here.
I am so sorry for the confusion, Deborah. It will get better, I promise. I promise.
I'm sorry. I'm just, I guess, having technical problems. I'm sorry.
No, I think it was completely my fault. So don't beat yourself up, okay? Seriously. Okay. No questions? Nobody has any ideas? I'd love your thoughts, Melody.
Oh, my phone wouldn't let me unmute. First of all, Lisa, fabulous. You are fabulous, and you're right on point. And I get what you were saying about the caterpillar and the butterfly. I often use this reference, so it's kind of endearing to me. And I know, Deborah, I've used this with you even more recently. But that caterpillar, yes, it has more life in it. It has more to grow. Yeah, and then it goes into its chrysalis, it comes out. It's interesting, when we had a garden, we actually had one on one of my plants, and we had videotaped it opening up, and that butterfly coming out. And what that butterfly does is it just sits there because its wings are so wet, it can't fly yet. And it just eats whatever it can that's right there with it. It can walk a little bit, but it cannot fly yet. And I get what you were talking about. This is a little off that topic a little bit. That's how I see each and every one of you. As you're growing, you're those caterpillars. You're just munching, eating up all the information, all the resources, all the knowledge and the wisdom that you can. And then you make a cocoon. And I kind of see that as, finding your purpose, or knowing more of what you want out of life. And you come out of that cocoon or that chrysalis, and you're a completely different being, completely transformed into this beautiful butterfly. And for a while, it takes just to sit there and to be in the present, and let the sun hit on your wings and dry those wings before you can fly. And that's how I see so many of you. It's so endearing, and I just love this because I can recognize the different stages of each one of your lives with this metaphor of the caterpillar and the butterfly. Now, if that caterpillar doesn't just eat and eat and eat and eat and fill itself up to prepare itself to go into this chrysalis, or have the energy to even create that for itself, then it's not going to get to that butterfly stage. It's not going to have enough energy in its body to create that chrysalis, to live in that while that transformation happens. And this is what I see so many. And one of the reasons why I appreciate this group so much for studying this information. And this is what you guys as caterpillars are eating up. And when we take the principles from this book and start to learn them, that's when we're starting to build that chrysalis around us. And when we start applying these principles, which, by the way, does anybody know just what the 7 of the principles are from this book? Does anybody know what they are? Okay, so let me just kind of say what they are a little bit, because you're going to be able to identify where you're at. So one of the first principles is, to have a definite vision. This is what this book teaches us, to have a definite vision. Now, it doesn't mean you need to know what your purpose is. Have a vision for your life. Have something that you want. And if you can't think of many things, think of one thing. Start with that one thing. The second thing is to be creative and not competitive. We've heard this in previous chapter. So the third one is to exercise your vision with frequency, not just visualize. Exercise this daily with frequency. What does that mean? With emotion, feeling it. How does it make you feel? What do you hear? What do you feel? using all of your senses, all of your emotions. How does that make you feel? That is definitely going to help you change your frequency, which is going to make you more attractive to, it's going to be like you're going to be that butterfly bush that all the other butterflies come to. It's going to be attractive to other people. That frequency will be. The fourth one is to maintain gratitude. We talk about this all the time. I don't think we could ever talk about it too much. I know a lot of people say, well, Melody, you talk about gratitude too much. Nope. If we don't maintain this gratitude for what we have right now in this moment, then it's going to be very difficult to get to that next level in our life, to that next step in our life. The other, number 5 is to have 100% belief. We must believe. If you don't believe in yourself, like I didn't believe in myself, believe in somebody else who you're copying. I believed in my mentor. I believed in Robert. And I just knew that if I stayed close enough and I did what he did to the best of my ability every day, not to the best of my ability once a week or on Saturdays when his calls were, to the best of my ability every day, I knew that I was going to have some sort of change. I didn't know if it was exactly what I wanted for my life. That was a good place for me to start. So I had 100% belief in Robert, and he believed in me until I could believe in myself. And this is why I believe in you guys, because I know there's nothing we do that you can't do. I know that. Number 6 is to make every day a success. And this is done by setting intentions, writing it down, and structuring your day, not letting your inbox dictate your day. This is why I don't check messages. If you guys are messaging me and sometimes you're going like, wow, I'm halfway through my day and you haven't responded yet. That's because I'm not done filling my cup. And I have a structure for my day. I set an intention the day before. And this also means going the extra mile. If you want to have success every day, go the extra mile. Do your best. I don't know if it's in chapter 11 or chapter 12 where it says to give it your all your mind, body, and soul, all your strength. Put everything into it. You're looking think about how old you are. I think I'm 50. Well, how old am I? I just turned 59. So I'm 59 years old. It took me 59 years to get the thinking that I got, to get me where I am in life. I needed to learn to give myself grace as I was learning, and not to just expect to have it like that. We need to give our all if we really want to create change. And that comes with doing things when we don't feel like doing them. And we're going to stop at the 7th principle. I know there are more. We're going to stop at the 7th one, and that is to get into the right business for you. Now, whatever that is. And I just love this because it just talks about we need to take the actions. We can't just think something into existence. We need to take the actions to do it. It's not enough to hold that vision in our head and to dream and to visualize. It's not enough to do that. We must take the actions. Nothing is going to happen. We will not have success without action coupled with that thought. So I don't know. That's my thoughts, how I feel. Thank you.
I
We lost
think
Lisa.
got disconnected. No, there she is.
It looks like she's still there. Nicholas,
I'm here,
what's
guys.
the biggest takeaway for you? Okay.
Okay. Sorry, I wanted to grab my other notebook. Melody, that was amazing. Nicholas, did you have something to say?
Yeah, I always got something to say. I
was
don't
hoping.
feel like I can top you and Melody not right now, because when I'm, because this is how I am, how I think. Well, the takeaways from this chapter for me is the three things that, and I've learned so much from you and Melody right now that I need to think about. But the things that I took away from this chapter was, number one, be in a positive mindset and take action. And Wallace Wattles says that every day is either a successful day or a day of failure, and it's the successful days which get you what you want. So that translates to me that the importance of a morning routine, the importance of working on this throughout the day as well. And the next takeaway from this chapter is work smart, not hard, follow the steps from a documented mentor. Wallace Wattles says that you are not to overwork nor to rush blindly into your business in the effort to do the greatest possible number of things in the shortest possible time. And he continues by making examples of ways that we should not be working or taking action. And that translates to me in work hard, not smart, follow the steps from a documented mentor, because if we follow the steps exactly as a documented mentor tells us, then we are efficient if we do it exactly as they do. And my last takeaway from this chapter is, I wrote down here for myself, can you do the steps that you got from your mentor? Wallace Wattles says the matter turns then on the question of whether you can make each separate act a success in itself. A lot of words here, so I'm out of breath. But yeah, that translates to me into, can you do the steps that Melody tells you, or can you do the steps that Melody and Robert tells you? The answer for me is yes, even though I haven't always followed them 100%. But if we can do, then we are able to make each separate act a success in itself, just like he says. And yeah, like I said before, it's not a matter if we can do it. I believe that anyone can do this. It's a matter of if we're willing to. So that is what I got from this chapter. Thank you so much.
That's an awesome interpretation. Absolutely. I mean, in fact, that's why I went to go get my notebook, because I wanted to hit on two of the key, those that you just did, Nicholas. So great minds think alike. Melody covered just about everything, and plus chapter 13. I love it. Anywho, you know what? I'm impressed with myself that I knew that. So there you go. That she did just touch on 13 with, what's that, Melody?
I'm impressed at you what chapter that was too. See, here's the thing. I don't, in fact, because I'm not home and I forgot my book last night, I don't have my book with me. I do know the material. I couldn't tell you always which chapter is which. So yeah, it all flows from one chapter to another, all of the same things, thinking in that certain way, acting in that certain way. All of the principles flow throughout this book. The one thing about, and I want to say it's this chapter, is the one thing that keeps popping out of my head all morning long, so I'm hoping it's from this chapter, is that two things. One, that we must act now. And I was going to go back and count how many times this is said. You must act now. Now is the time. And that's what a lot of us don't get, is this could be, if we don't act now, we could miss the boat. Like, it could leave the port without us. The other thing is that we must dismiss the past. And we cannot be acting in the past and using past experiences or hardships or whatever that is in the past. First of all, it doesn't define us, but we cannot be acting in the past. We cannot be acting in the future. We want to hold that vision of the future in our minds, but we need to be acting in the present. And again, I still want to go back and I want to know how many times it says, you must act now. Repetition is there for a reason. So I think we need to pick up those clues.
Are you talking about the entire book or a specific chapter?
You know, I want to say it's 11 or 12. I want to say it's 11 or 12 where it says that. You must act now. Like I said, I don't have like, oh, this is this chapter. I kind of know it. I know what's in it. I've read it. I've heard it so many times.
And that doesn't even matter as long as you know it.
As long as we get it.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. You guys are the bomb. I appreciate you. Y'all so much.
I appreciate you. You're amazing.
This has been so eye-opening. I don't know. Dustin, I want to ask you a question if you are okay to come out. If you are.
If he's not, I am, Lisa. Deborah, I don't know how to raise my hand on my phone.
That's okay. And that's okay. We'll give him just a second here. And
Sure.
You wanted to ask me a question?
Yes, I do. And an honest response would be amazing. Good, bad, indifferent, doesn't matter. Have you had any pops yet? We are like 2/3 of the way through this book. Can you tell me what, if anything, you are getting from it, Dustin?
Kind of put me on the spot there.
Well, no, I want to help the right way.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I would have to, I don't know of any pops I've gotten yet. I mean, this is probably the first time I read reading the whole thing.
Okay.
So, but I don't really, if I've gotten any pops.
Okay. So this isn't really doing a lot for you. Is that how you feel?
No, it is. You know, the more you read it, the more you understand it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And repetition is key. I know that much.
Okay. So I guess what I'm getting at is hearing other people's, maybe you need to hear other people's more, you know?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. This book, this club is wonderful to me. So,
okay. And
you know,
that's kind of what I'm looking for. I guess I want you to share more, if you would.
Okay.
I mean, but if you're not getting anything out of it, then I understand why you're not. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Melody, you had something?
Yeah. So, Dustin, just so you know, the first few times I read this book, I really didn't understand it. What was really super helpful for me was to know what the principles were of this book and to start finding them in the book. Like as I was reading it, to start it, and because, you know, it was written in 1910. So a lot of the language is not common for today's time. So don't feel bad if you're not understanding it. I didn't. And I know many people don't. It took my third or fourth time to start pulling those things out. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you. I was going to say it took me longer, you know, at probably 6 times. I'm embarrassed to say that, but I shouldn't be, because we all learn at different strides, you know, and each one of us are attracted to some type of learning. And if one person does not do that for you, then you need to find somebody that does do it for you. You know what I mean? Somebody that's a leader or somebody that's in your upline that you can learn from. That's what I felt with Robert immediately. That click, I just could so relate to him. I didn't want to listen to anybody else. You know what I mean? And nobody could tell me, you know, this. Oh, if somebody told me something bad about Robert, I'd be all over them like stink on glue. You know what I mean? I just, yeah, and Melody too. So, and the same thing with Melody, you know? So if it's not this group that's tripping it for you, Dustin, don't be afraid to speak up. Seriously, you know, because that's what we are here to help each other. You know, where are you struggling and figure out, you know, what we can do and why is that happening? You know, that's huge. Deborah.
Right, and that's why discussion is so important to
Yeah,
talk about it.
absolutely. That's where
Yeah.
I get the most out of this is in listening to you guys and I'm just giving you my take on it. Doesn't mean I'm right, doesn't mean I'm wrong. You know? Okay, Deborah, go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me? Oh, shoot.
No, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, now I can hear you. Thank you. This is difficult. I don't know how to do it on the phone very well. I just want to thank you for, Lisa. I get so much out of your calls. And Melody, thank you for bringing up the principles. You know, I learned a lot today about the chrysalis. I think is outstanding. You actually videoed that, you know, what the detail you put into the caterpillar turning into the chrysalis, turning into the butterfly really helped me. Yes, we have, you and I talked about that. And I never felt like I was going to be that butterfly. But then in the 7 principles, you said, believe in me or yourself. Well, Melody, I totally believe in you and Robert, and I'm starting to believe in myself. And what I'm so getting is about filling my cup up before I do anything else or talk to anybody else. That is so incredibly beneficial to me. And not having all those distractions I normally have had in the past. And also the other thing I want to say is you said something about planning your day out ahead of time and being intentional. I have never done that. And that each day could be a success. Do it no matter how you feel, do it anyway. I got that today loud and clear because I like to do things when I feel good, and that's just postponing too many things that need to be done for me to be a success. Thank you guys. That's all I got.
Oh, thank you for
Can I just
sharing,
add,
Deborah. That's awesome.
Deborah? Yeah,
Yeah.
Deborah, that was beautiful, and thank you. I am so proud of you for showing up. That's the first thing we need to do is to show up, and you're doing that. So as far as you've never planned your day or anything, in the 30-day accountability group, there is a training, and it's called daily planners or daily monthly planner. And there are videos there on how to do this, and it's not expensive to do. You can literally go to the dollar store and get a calendar and do it that way. It's very important. Just like if you have doctor appointments, you're probably writing them down on your calendar. Well, those doctor appointments are important for you to keep. So any other things that we have should be just as important. Building our future, changing our lives, changing our financial status, becoming that person that can speak in front of hundreds of people and feed into them. See, that's where you're going. That's where you are gifted. So you need to fill your cup each and every day. And morning ritual is non-negotiable for me. It's non-negotiable. I don't care who's calling me at what time. I'm not stopping to do what I need. And if I need to get up earlier to do it, I'm going to make sure I get up earlier to do it. It's so important. So important. I love you guys.
This was amazing, Deborah, and I'm not sure when exactly you popped on, but were you here when I was talking about what sets Melody and Robert apart from the rest of us?
I'm not sure
Okay,
if
definitely
I heard that or not.
definitely watch the replay, because I think what I
definitely will.
what I had to say there made a lot of sense. And Nicholas, I don't know if you heard it either. And if you did not, you definitely want to watch the replay. So, and you've had your hand up. I don't know if it's a mistake or go ahead though.
Yeah, no, it's not a mistake. And now I want to ask you something, but I don't know, I'm not sure if I get the words right. When in the beginning of the call, you talked about that we don't have to get or to understand all of the principles. Isn't all of them necessary? Please, can you clarify?
I absolutely can answer that in my opinion. Okay, now I don't know if it's right or not, but it's in my opinion. Okay, no, Robert tells us that we do not need to know every single principle. There are 3 chapters in this book that are crucial to get in many people's opinions. And that is chapter 3, chapter 4. And I don't know, I think that could be chapter 7, but I think every single chapter has so much value. And I can attest to saying that we do not need to know every single one, because I have seen the growth in myself, and I am far from getting all of these principles. I don't get them all. I'm doing the best that I can to learn them and to improve a little bit each day. But there's no way I can sit here and say, I know all these principles and you need to listen to me, because that's not what it's about.
That makes a lot of sense. Thank you for clarifying that. Yeah, we only need to focus on those 3 chapters. Well, I've been focusing on all of them, and I guess that's not bad, but yeah, I understand exactly what you mean.
Yeah, you do. We just don't need to get the whole book before we can start being successful. We just need to get better at one thing. And I can see us getting better. I can see that.
I just want to
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I just want to say quickly, because I see Melody there as well. I just want to say I am amazed by your growth, and everyone here are amazing. So
thank you.
We are growing, we are getting better, even if we don't understand everything. Yeah, so that makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
You bet, Nicholas. Go ahead, Melody.
Nicholas, I'd like to add, so you don't need to know every principle. However, as you start practicing them, say maybe the easiest principle for you to start is gratitude. So doing that on a daily, consistent basis, no matter what the circumstances. It doesn't matter if you walked out and you got a big old nail in your tire and you have to be somewhere in 20 minutes. Be in gratitude that you have a car that has tires, right? So it's all of these little things, and then we start adding them up. Then we kind of go, okay, well, now I'm practicing every day living in gratitude. Now I'm going to work on my belief, and I'm going to know that I don't want to be competitive. I don't want to be looking at what everybody else is doing and be jealous of that. I want to be creative. Well, what can I do to grow the fastest, put in more time, put in more effort, realize that you are worth it, right? So it's just all of these things, they kind of go hand in hand. It for me, it seems to be like, and Nicholas, I know you said this before, you know, the principles and what this book teaches was kind of like how you believed already. It kind of, for me too, it seems like it's, for me, common sense. Yet the more people I talk to, the more I realize common sense is not so common. So it's just a way of being, you know, if you do things in love, if you do things in gratitude, if you treat people as a servant, caring for them and putting others first and doing your best in everything you do, even if it's something you don't want to do. Yeah, these all kind of go together, and it kind of snowballs, and it starts to build momentum as it starts to go down one of those, like a hill. And okay, now you're living in gratitude, you're living in creative mindset, not competitive mindset, and now your belief system is growing. You know, all of these things compile upon one another, and as they compile upon one another, you can feel it, you see it differently, you see your life different, you start, like Lisa was saying, responding to things differently rather than reacting to things. Like that awareness happens within us, and that's the first thing that we need to do. We need to show up, we need to be aware. Hey, look, I don't like the way my life is going right now, I want more. So then we start practicing these principles, start learning the words. I remember Robert used to test us all the time on that one paragraph that's in the book, repeatedly, over and over and over. And actually, I'd get on a Zoom where we're going to hang out, Terry and I, just hang out. It wasn't a training, it wasn't anything, although anytime I was in front of Robert, I always had a notepad because I knew he was going to say something, and he would just flat out ask me, or he'd ask people on his calls, what is the one chapter that's repeated over and over and over and over the book? He says, you should know it like you know the happy birthday song. Well, now you guys got to go look to see what that chapter is. Lisa, you know, I'm positive, Nicholas, you know, but it's important for us to hold each other accountable to be able to keep learning. Okay, you learned this. Now, what did you do with this? Because if we don't do something, it says it over and over in the book, without action, those thoughts, those visualizations are worthless. Nothing is going to change without that. And I think that's what my dad used to refer to as pipe dreams, things that I wanted. And a pipe dream is kind of like something that you want that will never happen. And anytime I had something that I wanted, he would always say it's a pipe dream. Well, the difference between a pipe dream and my dreams is I hold the gratitude for those things already being held in my mind that haven't been achieved yet. I haven't seen them yet. They haven't manifested yet. I just hold those in my mind. And Lisa, the difference between Robert and I and most people is we have the awareness when our brain goes off, when we start having that stinking thinking, or when we start feeling maybe competitive or jealousy or whatever it is. We have that awareness, and we have the ability to stop everything now and change that mindset by practicing the principles in this book.
Yes.
We do it sooner than later. So
Absolutely. Yeah. And you know, if the quicker we put a stop to it, I mean, if we let that go pretty quick, we're spiraling downward again. You know, go to the path of least resistance. You know, like Abraham says, let her do that. But Melody and Robert, you guys are absolutely unique. And I was talking about Nicholas's consistency. And well, you can watch a replay. I think this was an awesome call. Thank you guys. We're right at the hour. That was perfect. Thank you guys so much for adding value. Debbie, Desmond, is there anything you want to add, hon? I want to give you a chance to talk too, please.
I'm good, Lisa. Thank you.
Okay. All right. And Deborah Bronner, thanks for coming. I hope we see you again next
Thank you,
week.
Lisa, Nicholas, Melody, Debbie, and everybody here. God
Yeah.
bless your day. Blessings.
Absolutely. And Nicholas, I won't see you Monday, but I will see you when I see you. Okay. Everybody have an awesome weekend. Thanks for coming, you guys. Bye-bye.
Great call, Lisa. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Melody.
God
Thank
bless. Have a wonderful
Thank you.
weekend.
You
Bye,
bet.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Mhm.